Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Be and So with Andy. My name is Andy Afolabi. I'm so happy and honored to be with you this moment because I'm so excited to tell you that for the past few weeks I've earned so much subscribers, and I thank you, friends, families, viewers, and everyone who have contributed one way or the other to my channel. Even if somebody give a negative review to your channel, do you know it's a plus? Leave that one for the other day. So thank you so much. I've used overwhelming before. I don't know which word to use for you guys. You are so outstanding. You are one of a kind, and you are so remarkable. Thank you. So today I want to talk briefly on unusual body type. What do I mean by unusual body type, and how to adjust your measurements accordingly? Unusual body type means people that don't have hourglass shape. People that don't have hourglass shape, like maybe because they have big stomach, their waist is not tiny. So how do you go about sewing cloth that fits them perfectly? So one secret to this is to take their measurements, and is to recognize their hourglass points. What do I mean by hourglass points? Like some people, from their upper side of the body, the hourglass part is the part that is smaller, the part that is tiny. So you build on that. You use that as a strength in measuring and sewing their dress, so that at the end of the day their dress will come out so beautifully. So I'm going to show you an example by sewing a pencil ruffle dress with a slit. So I'm going to show you how to adapt and adjust the measurements accordingly. Let's go there. So viewers, it's a dress, but I'm going to cut the down part of the dress first. I'll fold my fabric into 4 accordingly. This is the open side. This is open and this side is closed. So on the open side, I leave allowance of 1 to 1.5 inches for zipper allowance. That will be center back. So this is center back. No, excuse me, center front, center back. So this is the zipper allowance. This is the zipper allowance. Let me remove the chalk so that you can see it clearly. Chalk. So this is my guideline, So according to what I've said, so this person, her hourglass point is her under bust. So that is where I'm going to start the measurement. So her under bust, I'm going to put her measurement accordingly. Under bust with the dart and sewing allowance. So this is her under bust. From under bust, I'm going to measure her stomach. From under bust, her stomach is 9 inches. So I'm going to, her stomach is 9 inches. So I'm going to rule a straight line. Then her hip from under bust is 12 inches. So I'm going to rule accordingly. So I'm going to input all the required measurements. This is her under bust. I've put the required measurements. And this is her stomach. This is her stomach. I've put the required measurements. This is her hip. I've put the required measurements. So the bottom of the dress, I'm going to minus 1.5 from whatever I have on my hip and put it on the bottom of the dress, like so. Then I mentioned that it's with a slit. When you want to give a dress a slit, it depends on the type of slit you want to give, whether it's back slit, side slit, or front slit. So in this case, I want to give a front slit. So when I'm giving the front slit, I want to look at my nipple to nipple measurement to able to pull that slit. So I'm going to measure where the slit is going to start and where it's going to stop. I want my slit to start from the bottom side. I measure 24 inches upward, like so, from the down part. So I'm concentrating on the down part now, the slit. So let me move it closer. So from the down part, I measure 24 inches from the down part upward measurements towards the beginning of the under bust. So it's here. So from this inches, I'm going to measure her nipple to nipple measurement. I'm going to measure it this way, nipple to nipple measurement, and connect all the points, like so. So on this line, I'm going to measure 1 inch on both sides, 1 inch on both sides, 1 inch on both sides of the line. That is my slits, 1 inch. I'm going to connect. So I want my slits to be U-shaped. So I'm going to try and blend. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So yes, that's good. So I'm going to try and blend here and blend from here. I'm going to start like 1 inches down and start blending and blend it to the center line. I'll do the same here. I'm going to start from like 1 inches and blend it to the center line. So my cuff is perfect. So this is where I'm going to slit open, and when I slit it open, I'm going to cut a little bit. I'm going to cut like 1/2 inch on both sides, 1/2 inch on both sides. So this is the pattern. So my cutting will be like this, U-shape down. So but I cannot cut, because if I cut, I'm going to cut the front part. It's after I've cut it out, I'll take the back pattern out, because the back pattern doesn't have any slits. I'm taking the back pattern out, then I'll take the front pattern, I will open it up. That is, I will now cut this slit open on one side of the front pattern. So now for my measurement, I'm going to connect all my points from under bust. It may have a funny shape to the hip, from the hip down to my 13 this way. So this is the shape. It's not that funny, it's a good shape anyway. So this is how, I hope you can see the shape. So I'm going to focus my camera back so that you can see the whole. So viewers, This is the lining and this is the main dress. So I want to start by opening this slit. I'm going to leave half inches on both sides. And I'm going to follow my U. You round your hand, you cuff it. You round your hand such a way that there will not be sharp edge anywhere. Round your hand. So I've secured all the side with pins. So this is my U. If anywhere is not rhyming, you shape it accordingly. So this is the U. It is on this U after finishing. So I'm going to sew it in. I'm going to put right side and sew this U. So after that, I may stop stitch, I may not. Then I'm going to put this ruffle, this shiny organza. I cut it 7 inches, and the length depends on how full you want it to be. So I'm going to fold it like this into 2 and put it on the right side and plait it. I'm going to plait it round the U, like 3 step, 2 step, 4 step, depends on what you want. So before I do that, I will have finished the hem part. So the hem part too, I want to put this ruffle in there. I want to put it there. So that is the down part. So I'm going to show you how I cut the upper part. So the upper part will be 16 inches because my measurement started from under bust. So I'm going to show you how I cut the upper part. So guys, this is how I cut the ruffle that I used to design the dress. I measure 7 inches, measure 7 inches, and I will cut it this way into pieces. Then after cutting, is these 7 pieces that I'm going to fold into 2 like this. I'm going to fold into 2 and serge. I'm going to serge all the edge. After serging, I'm going to plait it to make the ruffle. So this is how I come about the ruffle. So guys, this is the upper part of the dress. I've folded the required measurements I need. So I've ruled my line. This is my chest line. Then this is my bust line, and this is the length of the dress. I've added the required sewing allowance to it. So this is my chest line, 9 inches. This is my bust line. On my bust line, I'm going to input my bust to bust measurements, which is 5. Then on this is the under bust. I'm going to, whatever I have here, I'm going to reduce it by ½ inch. Then on this my neckline, I'm going to measure 3½ inches. So on my neckline, I measure 3½ inches. On my bust point, I measure my bust to bust measurement. Then on my my under bust, I remove ½ inch from whatever I have here. So I'm going to connect the line like so. I'm going to connect the line like 3 inches minimum. Why I add half? Because I need half inches to join it on both sides, because this is center front. So I'm going to take note of this line. So now I want to take my full measurement. So on this my chest line, I'm going to put my my bust measurement. I'm going to put my bust measurement in there. So I'm going to put my bust measurement, and toward the measurement I'm going to add 3 inches because it's padded. I'm going to add 3 inches toward the measurement. Then on my under bust measurement, I'm going to put my under bust measurement, or better still, on my under bust measurement, I'm going to use the measurement for the. So this is the lower part of the dress. I want to put exactly what I have on my lower part. You can see the darts for the lower part, and where I put my center front, it's match. I'm going to put the measurement. This is the measurement. Then I'm going to add 3 inches. After I put the measurement, I'm going to add 3 inches. Then 1 inch sewing allowance, 3 inches and 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to connect like so. So I'm going to leave the armhole for now. So this is the measurement now. So I'm going to cut my center front out this way. I'm going to cut it out. So this is my center front, and this is my chest line. This is my nipple to nipple. So I'm going to place it this way. I'm going to place it this way. I'm going to check what I have here. So I have 2.5 here, and I have like almost 2 inches here. So I'm going to use this my center front. I'm going to use this. I don't know whether you are seeing what I'm doing. Oh my God. This is what I did. This is how it was. This is how it was. The marking. I've marked it. And when I mark it, this is 3.5 inches. This is my beginning of the measurement. Then this is my chest line. This is my nipple point. On my nipple point, I measure my nipple to nipple measurement, and this is the length of the top. So I cut it out. So after I cut it out, after I cut it out, I turn it this way. This one, I want to get the shape. What I have here, I want to get the shape here on the side front and side back. So I'm going to turn it this way and make sure that the nipple points match. I'm going to lay it, then I'm going to trim it. So this place I have 2 inches, then on the upper side I have 2.5 inches. So I'm going to trim it accordingly. So this place explains the 3 inches we added, because we cut it away. The 3 inches, though this is 2.5, the 3 inches we added, we've cut it out. We've cut 2.5 inches, so remain half inches, and I added another 1 inch, remain 1.5 inches. So we are going to use half inches to be joining the size together. That explains all the allowance I have added so far. So now for you to get your shoulder measurement, so this is a 3.5 inches. So you place your tape rule. Let me lower it. I will say that again. So to get your shoulder measurement, so this is 3.5 inches. As I've said, that you have minimum of 3 inches here. Because of the sewing allowance, I added half inches, so it's 3.5 here. So you place that 3.5. So now this 3.5, you place that 3.5 to the back. This 3.5 here now. Then you measure your shoulder measurement. Your shoulder measurement. So your shoulder measurement is 8. My shoulder measurement is 8. 8 stop here. So, but I need allowance to join the center front to the side front on both sides. So I need half inches on both sides. So I'm going to add the allowance so that my shoulder will not short when I'm joining. So I'm going to add like 2.5 inches to the shoulder. So it was 8. So if I add 2.5, 1, 2, it will be 10.5. So the 10.5 stop here. So it's from that 10.5, I'm going to draw my imaginary armhole this way. It's imaginary because when we join it, we are still going to trim it and get the actual back measurement. So with that now, I've been able to get the shape that I have here. So I'm going to notch my bust points this way. So I'm going to notch point. This is my chest line. I'm going to notch my chest line. I'm going to notch my chest line. So I'm going to cut it out. So it's better you have excess than for your fabric to be short. So I'm going to leave everything like this. After joining, I'll do the shoulder trimming and slanting. So this is the center front. Let me open it up so that you can see. This is the center front, and this is the side front here, and this is the other side front. So this is how my top is going to look. So you can see here, this is what is going to give the bustier effect. So by the time I close this place, so here the bust will come out here. So I'm also going to show you how I'm going to cut the pad. I'm going to pad it. So I'm going to cut the pad. I'm going to show you. So I will use this measurement now and cut the back. But note, the front I measure for the length. I measure 17.5 for the back. I'm going to measure 16.5 because the back does not need any bust. We don't have bust at the back, so I'm just going to add my zip allowance, and that's all. So, and there's nothing that will make the back to jump, but because of the effect of the bust there, the front tends to jump. So that is why the front panel the length of the front panel is greater by 1.5 to the compared to the length of the front panel. So this is the front. I'm going to mark it and cut it out. So this is the back panel. I've marked it out. I just want to explain a few things on the back. So this is my starting point. So I'm going to determine what type of neck I'm going to give to it after, but I'm just going to try and mark something for the back as neck. So this is just imaginary neck. So for the back, this is the zipper allowance. This is the zipper allowance. So on the zipper allowance, I make a dart here. I'll trim it out. So this dart that I make here, I'm going to transfer it here to make the back to last, for the zipper to last very well. So I transfer this one that I'm going to cut away. I transfer it here. Though on the downside of this place, I also come down by half an inch. I come down by half an inch and blend it back to the seam. So I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut it out. Shoulder slanting, then add back half inch that we use and join. I gave it shoulder slanting. I add back 1 inch. I use and join the back together this way. So now this is the zipper side. This is the half inch that I gave. I'm going to cut this one open. I'm going to cut it open. So now this is my new zipper allowance. This is my new zipper allowance. Not check it. So now on this line, I'm going to measure my bust to bust measurement, which is 5 inches from chest line. 5 inches. 5 inches. I'm going to connect here on this. I'm going to take a half inch that, half inch that. I'm going to connect it straight to my chest line. Half inch that. I'm going to connect it straight this way. So I'm going to give it a notch. So this is the back panel. So the two things that will make the back panel to lap is the half inch. I trim half inch from the zipper side down to meet it here. Then I trim half inch like it's dart. I give it a dart here. I transfer the dart here. I now transfer my zipper allowance from here to here. So this is where it will start, this where it will end. So that's all for the back. So I'm going to cut the lining the same way. The next thing I want to show you now is how to cut the padding, how to cut the wording for the front panel. So this is the wording I want to use to pad the bustier. So this is the gumming side. This is the side that is not fusing. So now this is the center front of my bustier. So I'm going to lay it and trace from the chest line. I'll notch the chest line. So I'm going to do like a half inch above the chest line and trace this way. going to do 1/2 inch above the chest line and trace. So the whole thing is going to end in under bust. I'm going to cut it out. So I've cut the padding for the central front. So if you want to separate it, you can separate it if you want. You can separate it, but I want to cut it together. I don't want to separate it. So I'll fold it into two because I want to cut 2 pieces. This is the notch for my chest line here. This is the notch. Just need like 1 inch or 1/2 inch on the notch. So from the notch, I'm going to go up by 1/2 inch. I'm going to trace it out to the end. Trace it this way. I'm going to take it out. Take it out. Then I'm going to, from the edge here, I'm going to try and cuff it this way. I'm going to cut it out. One more thing, I'm going to try and note my breast point. So this is my breast point, so that I can give it a notch. So I'm going to cut it out and show you what I got. So this is the wording for both sides of and this is the center. So the next thing now is to go to sewing table. So before then, I'm going to fuse it with the center front. This is how it's going to be. I notch it up here so that we know that is up, so that it will guide you, so that you know